Modules focused on Ukrainian politics at King's College London perhaps have been long overdue, as for many years students have been focusing their dissertation and their coursework in whole or in part on Ukraine, which stands in many ways as an alternative to the post-Soviet path Russia has taken. These new modules, both for undergraduates and for graduate students, both titled Contemporary Ukrainian Politics and Society, will offer a comprehensive overview of the political, social, and economic development of Ukraine. These modules will focus on the challenges of Ukraine's transition from a communist state through to an in-depth study of the politics of independent Ukraine today. The modules have three overarching goals. First, to analyze the various domestic and international factors influencing Ukraine's transformation. Second, to explain how and why revolution and war have emerged and returned recently to the country. And third, to highlight what strengths and experiences the country can draw upon to rebuild and restore once the current fighting stops. The course will begin with a brief overview of the history of the Ukrainian state up until the Second World War and the Soviet periods, followed by a discussion on the collapse of the Soviet Union and the role that Ukraine uniquely played in it. From then on, the focus will be on the politics of Ukraine in its modern era. We will analyze the dynamics of political, social, and economic reforms in Ukraine during the 1990s and the challenges of constructing a common national identity and formulating a foreign policy that in many ways has sought to balance between East and West. Particular attention will be paid to the nature of Ukraine's political regime under each post-Soviet president and the causes of the 2004 Orange and 2014 Euromaidan revolutions, the latter, of course, known as the Revolution of Dignity, as well as the nature of corruption and the role that the oligarchs have played in society and in politics since the 1990s. Finally, we will discuss the causes of war and conflict with Russia since 2014, the role of the European Union in the current crisis, how the war might end, and what are the prospects for sovereignty, democracy, better governance, stronger economic development, and relations with both East and West going forward. Having likely endured more state-sponsored killing in the lands than any other country in the world over the past century, Ukraine now finds itself at the center of a war that will likely be viewed as an inflection point for global politics, transforming how East and West, democratic and authoritarian states will interact going forward. And with Ukraine topping global news at present, this module seeks to satisfy student interest to understand the world at large, what led up to the current moment for Ukraine, and how this moment might, well, change the world as we've known and studied it previously. Ukraine's struggles with independence throughout its history, as well as economic reform and democratic consolidation over the past 30 years, alone have made the country a critical case for those who study comparative international politics. And its size, the largest country entirely in Europe, renders significant consideration for UK foreign policy. Moreover, these modules will enable students to explore the underlying causes of some of the universal themes in politics that have been featuring on the mainstream news for the past several years. And these issues such as war, genocide, democratization, independence, economic growth may be very familiar to students, but the causal factors of them may not be, and students will gain a better grasp as to what caused these phenomena to occur. Finally, although some familiarity with Ukraine's history and politics is always welcome, it is not at all a prerequisite for taking this course. So I look forward to joining all those who are interested next spring term in contemporary Ukrainian politics and society. And personally, ever since I founded and directed a rule of law program for Freedom House in Ukraine in the mid-1990s, the country of Ukraine, with its politics, its society, and its culture, let alone its great food, have just fascinated and delighted me over the years, and I hope it will pique your interest as well.